A very good evening to everyone on this lovely Monday night. It is simRace Africa back again with another race tonight. I'm with my friend Nick Hodson in the booth. Nick, how are you doing?
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Ryan, and welcome, of course, back GT3. And we're expecting a weight race tonight here at Donington in the UK.
Indeed, we're back in the UK. It's known for its wet weather. We'll have to see what happens. The forecast out there today is for some light rain. I'll get to that in a sec, but anything can happen. And also just a quick shout out to everyone joining us on stream live. So also everyone that's going to watch it afterwards, very good to have you with us supporting. Also just a quick shout out to Hydro Rubber Waterproof Coating as well, one of our new sponsors, which has allowed us to increase the grid sizes tonight as well. Up from 15 odd, I think it was, capped at previously. We've upped that to 20, although as I say that, I do see that we have at least 4 drivers opting for a skip round tonight, just due to work commitments or anything else. But yeah, good to have some larger grids with us, and excited for the future and the remainder of the season. Just bringing the track layout up on track quickly. We are of course at Donington Park, as you can see from the pictures. This is one of my favorite tracks, Nick. It's got a lot of good corners, some high speed straights, some twisty bits, some elevation changes. Oh, it's a great track in my opinion.
Yeah, very tricky track as well. Certainly one that I've struggled with in the past. In fact, I don't think I've ever done particularly well at Donington racing myself. The last 2 chicanes, hairpins. They have always really caught me out. They are where, as a driver, you can make up a huge amount of time just in lap time. So that's the Melbourne hairpin, of course, and Goddard's. Yeah. It turns 11 and 12. So they, maybe not necessarily brilliant overtaking opportunities. You can force your way through, particularly 11 Melbourne hairpin. But they're areas that you will easily be able to find time on your competitors if you get them absolutely nailed. The S's, of course, another tricky little section. 9 and 10. That's the chicane. Got to get your braking point right there. Got to carry as much speed as you possibly can. So yeah, watch out for mistakes there. But the rest of the track is huge fun. First turn, red gate. You got to get that spot track on. Yeah, you've really got to throw the car all the way down through the craned curves, old hairpin, Starkey's Bridge. It really is quite flat out there. McLean's and Coppice, those. You've got to carry as much speed as you possibly can. Sort of mid-speed type corners. Obviously getting a good exit out of Coppice for Starkey straight, but both of those, as you say, lots of elevation change, which is always very, very exciting as a driver and can produce some fantastic racing as well.
Yeah, looking forward to that very much. We have ticked over to quali in the background, so I'll cut to live pictures very soon, but before I do so, just a quick look at the official weather forecast. So as we mentioned, light drizzle is expected. The server before it ticked over to quali was dry conditions, or overcast but dry. I see now in the background is actually a damp track in quali as we speak, so sort of spitting here and there, but with increasing rain quantity to come. So we'll cut to that in just a sec. But
from what I saw from the practicing, Ryan, that most of the drivers have been practicing on a damp track, maybe slightly wet track. I don't think we're expecting huge amounts of rain here, but we're certainly expecting constant drizzle, and we are expecting some wet weather running, but certainly not torrential downpours. But I actually think the drivers are going to be more ready for a wet track tonight than they are for a dry.
Absolutely. Speaking of the drivers, I've got the championship standings up on the board. So Ross Bartle leading the pack in his Mustang. In fact, it's a trio of Mustangs at the top. Ross Bartle, Hannes van Beek and Mike LaRue. None of those drivers have taken skip rounds yet though, and we also have the drop round functionality. So things may still shuffle out towards the tail end of the season. But for sure, I'm thinking that those guys might be favourites again tonight. But certainly don't discount any of the Ferraris, especially on the twisty bits, as well as the pace of it, out the corners. But we'll have to see what transpires.
And we haven't seen what happens to these guys in the rain. In terms of, obviously, the Mustang is the new new popular car. As you say, top 3 all Mustangs. Guys like Ross Bartle, Henderson, Baker, Mike LaRue really getting to grips with this new vehicle quite nicely. But what's the rain going to do?
Indeed. I've got some lap records up on screen now as well. These were all captured in races on the simracing.gp platform for drivers currently in this race. One glaring omission here is no one has run the Ford Mustang before as a track car combination on Donington, so it's difficult to see. The fastest lap has been recorded by Ross Bartle, but in the Ferrari with a 126.1. I'm expecting those to be slower, of course, if it's raining, but we'll have to see what the Mustang can do. Yeah, very intrigued to see.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, we'll have to see what these drivers can do. They might need some of that waterproofing themselves tonight with all the rain we're going to be. So hydro rubber is going to be coming in very, very useful tonight with these guys. Obviously, you're going on the wet tires just so they don't aquaplane everywhere.
Indeed. 11 minutes left to quali. Before we cut to it, Nick, I'm going to roll a hot lap guide video brought to you none other than Jardia. Off we go.
Hello fellow sim racers and welcome to another Yassi truck guide. Going on at Donington with the McLaren 720S. Braking after the pit limit, exit. You know, when the green part changes. Early on the throttle, watch out for the curbs. Do not touch too much of the curb on the exit because it can drag you into the grass. Watch out for the old hairpin. Braking on a mark there, you could see on the right, you know. Watch out for, don't go too much on the grass, because you can invalidate your lap or get an off-track warning. Then using all the racetrack, going sharply to the left, heavy braking, I missed apex a little bit, and using the whole racetrack for my advantage on the exit. Blind corner, missed the apex just a tiny bit there, and really, really careful on the throttle here, trying to control your car on a maximum throttle, but really wiggle, you know. Down the hill braking, literally touching that tire wall using all track. I really recommend taking the chicane many times in your practice. Easy braking here into the hairpin. I recommend taking the chicane many times because you can really gain so much in a qualification if you risk it. Damn it! Sorry. Last corner again, early on the throttle, smooth on the exit. Try to aim for like 26 mid lap times. It really depends on the conditions. Again, using the whole pit exit there for my advantage. Early on the throttle. Watch out overslide on the exit. Need a bit of a tweaks on the setup. Really rely on the downforce on this track, especially in this first sector. Like this, nice. Using the whole racetrack. I said in the chicane and in the hairpins you can gain so much time if you nail it properly. A bit earlier into the corner, hitting the apex. Don't overslide too much as I did. But that was good. Only braking when you can see that white board on the right, you know, early into the corner. Focusing on the exit, like better than last time. I was fighting with the wheel. Just try to risk a little bit more in the chicane. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Going for a lower TC. Braking right by the right board. Easy on the trail braking here. And watch out for the exit. Do not wheel spin, you know, and don't fight with the wheel too much. Last corner, braking before the Pirelli mark. Easy, guys. It's very easy to outbrake yourself in the last corner. And nice on the acceleration. Smooth. 26.9, decent lap. Low mid 26, guys. It's fantastic on this track. Thank you so much, guys, for watching Yassi track guide. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, by the way.
Alrighty, thanks very much, Jardia. We are now on live pictures. 7.5 minutes left of quali, and currently just focus on Brett Kirkhamp out there, currently holding P5 for Black Awesome Sports in his Mustang. And yeah, definitely a damp track out there.
Yeah, you can see the rain. The rain is coming down, as you say. In the top right-hand corner there, you can see the tracks marked as damp. and in the little timing corner sort of prediction, you can see that the rain is predicted to be getting worse. So these guys should be about able to do as good a lap as possible right now. It's not like the track is going to be getting much better, apart from having cars on the track just clearing a little bit of water. That is simulated in ACC, but with the track conditions getting worse, I would expect, I would expect these guys to be not able to put in as good a lap at the end as at the beginning. Obviously, you've got to tune yourself in as a driver, get yourself in that mood for doing a super hot lap. As we see Jason Luck right up there, second position provisionally at the moment, was in provisional pole. See, Ross Bartle has just taken provisional pole in his Mustang, but great to see Jason Luck in that Porsche could do really well around Donington. We've seen a couple of the tracks that we've visited to start this season at SimRace SA. We have seen a few of them be very much in favor of these cars with huge top speeds. The Porsche, of course, probably the weakest car with in terms of top speed. So great to see it doing well, and hopefully Jason has a fantastic race.
Yeah, definitely. The balance of power, or BOP as it's called, does attempt to bring these cars a little bit in line, but there's still going to be some advantages and disadvantages for overtaking, making moves, down the straights, later braking, which it's going to be an interesting one to see what's going to come out top tonight. Just looking at Mark van Rensburg pedaling his Lambo around, also always quick. He is currently up 0.16 on his best, which I'm trying to see the gap to Jason.
It'll challenge him for second. Yeah, it'll challenge for second. I don't know that it'll definitely get it, but let's see how he does.
He's dropped quite a bit on that final corner, unfortunately.
Yeah, you saw him getting very squirrely out the corner. Didn't get the power down, so unfortunately that hasn't moved him up. But going to be interesting to see how these guys manage to deal with these slippery conditions. Of course, all these cars are going to be squirming out the corners, not going to be happy. The Aston Martin, we can see there of Trollop just in front of Van Wyk. The Aston has always been a very solid car to be in the wet. Great at changeable conditions, great at managing its tires, and just always such a nice, easy car to drive in tricky conditions. It's always been that, and the Bentley.
I was just thinking about the Bentley, but don't think we have any out on track. Possibly across the entire grid, or divisions, should I say.
Very unlikely. Unfortunately, the Bentley has fallen way out of favor with most of the drivers. Guys just aren't able to get the performance out of it that they used to. Of course, I used to drive the Bentley back in the day, so I know what its virtues are, and certainly these conditions it would be loving life. Ooh. As we were singing the praises of that Aston, there's a little bit of an off, but that's okay. 3-4 minutes to go in qualifying, with Jason Luck still just behind Ross Bartle. I see Van Wyk has now popped into third, slotting himself in between Mark van Rensburg and Jason Luck. So great to see that we've got a very tight grid here tonight. Of course, this is Division 1, Ryan? We've got a few divisions at SimRace SA.
Yeah, we do indeed. So what we've done is we've tightened up the grids recently, put in 20 into Division 1, and then essentially the rest into what we call Div 2 Plus, which is running as part of the multi-split series, which will, I think, go up to a maximum of 30 cars before it decides to split itself. I want to quickly see if I can have a quick squiz to see how many eventually signed up for tonight's race in Div 2 and 3. It's Div 2. We've had 28 participants signed up for tonight's race.
Okay, great. So we got a good sort of solid overall participation tonight, which is great. And if you're thinking of taking part, you should be. Head over to simracesa.co.za and you'll find a link to our Discord server. Jump on there. It'll give you links to all of our rules, regulations, our divisions, what we race, how it all works. And pop on in, say hi, and come find your place. There's a place for everybody here in terms of racing ability, whether you are a seasoned, hardened pro like Ross Bartle, or if you're just starting out on your sim racing journey, or even returning as somebody like Brett Crocombe, who's taking a couple of seasons off. he's now back behind the wheel. And in fact, who was it in the Clios that I saw? Peter Geldnys. I don't think we had Peter for a while,
Yeah.
and he's he's a real stalwart here at SimRace SA, and it was fantastic to see him back in the saddle. I remember many seasons ago now battling with him in the in Assetto Corsa or GT3 championships. So great to see him back as well. So yeah, it's just come along, join in, and find your race.
Yeah, nice to see some of those veterans making their way back. There's, as Nick said, there's something for everyone. We've got the GT3 currently on screen. We're running that Renault Clio Cup Championship on Assetto Corsa. We've also just recently started, it was last week, was the first round, the Formula Students on Wednesdays, every Wednesday night until basically the week before Christmas. Those are all, there's no closed competitions. We've got, with the sponsorship now, we've got grid space so that everyone can sign up. So yeah, don't delay. 1 minute left, Nick.
Yeah, I'll see what these guys can do. We've got Ross in the pits, Hannes in the pits, so it looks like those two guys feel that there's no more time to be found out there. Jason Luck still giving it absolutely everything, flying through that chicane and looking to make a little bit of time up. He will probably be able to get another lap in. I'm sure he'll be able to get over the line in 30 seconds.
He's going to need to, because this lap he's down a second on his delta, so we'll have to see if he goes for a last lap attempt.
I imagine he will, otherwise I'm not sure, unless he's sort of run out of fuel, but I certainly imagine he'll go for another chance as we see more and more guys going back to the pits, clearly feeling that there's not too much time to be found out there. Obviously Mark van Rensburg still in fourth position and still looking for improvement. What's his delta looking like, Ryan?
Not good at the moment, plus 0.4.
Okay, so unlikely to find anything there. So Van Rensburg will have to settle for fourth. Of course, if it is a wet race, there's absolutely places to be made up. As you know, anything can happen in racing, and particularly when the conditions are tricky.
Mm-hmm.
Fridge Findlay now going to be finishing off his lap in his Venom Works Mustang.
Slightly under his, a good delta, but it's not good enough to make up a place. Timothy Gomez out there, he's half a second up on his best. That will jump in ahead of Fridge, actually, if he manages to bank it.
Yeah, and possibly even Martin Groenewald in ninth, so could be looking...
last corner. Ooh, he's run wide. He's
run wide. Yeah. Oh, that's unfortunate. Sorry, Timothy.
But I think that's all she wrote there, with Ross Barkle going to be taking pole position. Jason Luck is going to be lined up alongside him in the Porsche, and Hannes van Veek on second row in the other Ford, and Mark van Rensburg rounding out that second row. Got a 2-minute countdown, Nick. I'm going to roll a quick demo for the Renault Clios, and we'll catch you in a couple minutes. Right, we're back live. Drivers are out on the rolling starting formation lap.
Yeah, beginning of the lap. So it's going to take them a little while to work their way around. Once again, watch as all of these drivers are going to be trying desperately to warm up their tires and brakes. They're going to be basically riding them all the way around in the wet.
Just looking at that weather though, the track is reporting greasy. I assume that's slightly less damp than damp.
Correct. Yes. So that's going to tick over
fairly constant. Yeah.
Yeah. And I imagine we may even get to wet at some point, because I can see in 10 minutes time it looks like the rain's going to get harder, if I'm reading that correctly.
Difficult to say. Those icons look fairly similar to me. But this is a 75-minute race, so yeah, we'll have to see. Anything can happen after half an hour if it's going to get heavier or lighter.
And of course, they will have to make a pit stop. It is a mandatory pit stop, but you can do what you like in that pit stop. So you got to stop for at least 1 liter of fuel, which is the minimum that you that you can do. So whether they take tires, up to them. Whether they add a whole lot of fuel, up to them. Stop halfway, up to you. Stop all the way at the end, absolutely up to you. Stop at the end of the first lap, up to you. So yeah, let's see what these guys do in the dry. Typically, tires won't make it a full 75 minutes, particularly if you're in a front engine car like the Mustang, like the Aston Martin, like the BMW, also very bad on its tires, the BM. But some of the mid-engine cars are known to be able to make tires last. So we'll have to see how these guys do. Of course, we've got Venomworks in second with Jason Luck. We've got Venomworks in third with Hannes van Wyk. And is Van Rensburg Venomworks as well? I think he is. So it's actually all Venomworks from second down to fifth, I believe. It's just the Black Owl Sim Sports Ross Bartle in pole position, trying to hold that Venomworks tide of drivers from flooding over this race at the moment. With I see Brett Krokamp and Martin Groenewald back there for Black Owl Sim Sports as well. So we'll have to see how they do. Hardest Boyser, in one of the lone BMWs. So here we go.
Lining up double stack, waiting for that green light. They'll have to hold the speed limit, hold position to avoid any sort of start penalties. And here we go, green flag.
Green light, go, go, go.
Looks like the run down to the inside. Ross is going to maintain his inside line. Jason Luck trying to go around the inside.
Trying to go around the outside. I think maybe a little contact. Yeah, it was very tight there. Someone having to use the brakes coming down the hill. I think that was Mike LaRue. And Hardest Boyser,
yeah.
Yeah, making hay while the sun shines there. But in general, looking like we do have a clean getaway. Just that one little bit of contact. Jason Luck and Ross Bartle really breaking away. You can see how much quicker Jason is through some of these sort of mid corners, which is exactly what I'd be expecting of that Porsche. And behind, then you have the absolute gaggle of everybody else in Division 1 following on. All 16 drivers looking to try and make some positions up in these changeable, variable, uncertain, unpredictable conditions. Most of the field made up of Fords, of course. We've got Bartle, Van Wyk, Krokamp, Findlay, Groenewald, LaRue and Maritz. I see LaRue has rejoined in 11th. Oh, very, very sideways from Brett Krokamp there. Absolute drift mode engaged. Fridge Findlay for Venomworks looking to try and attack this Black Owl Sim Sports driver. Of course, in a bit of a boss sandwich there is Findlay, but Brett seems to have regained his composure and once more trying to break away from Findlay, but catch Boyser in the lone BMW. Bartle setting the fastest lap of the race on lap 1, with Jason Luck just 0.4 of a second behind him. So we'll have to see how Jason can manage the pace of Ross. Ross has been fairly prodigious so far this season in terms of his consistency. Maybe not his oval outright pace, over 1 lap, but Gomez getting very sideways there in the Ferrari. A tricky little thing to bring back. That Ferrari can bite quite hard, maybe not quite as hard as the McLaren, as we see Zach Gillett, Leroux on Gillett trying to make his way back through the pack. Now that power of the Mustang will come in. The McLaren no slouch down the straight, of course, but the Mustang is just absolutely incredible. On the
bit of a late dive out there, but yeah, he has to back out of it.
Yeah, well managed from the Leroux there, making sure contact wasn't made, but certainly showing his nose, showing his intentions. Krokam getting sideways again, coming out of that hairpin. Certainly letting the Mustang live up to its name there. Again, more sideways action. I wonder if Krokam's got a very aggressive setup, using a lot of toe or something at the rear to a combination of toe and camber to give him that drive out the corner he's looking for and the rotation he's looking for. I know the Mustang can be a little bit recalcitrant in terms of getting out of a corner. It likes to understeer out, so possibly that's why you see just squiggling everywhere. But we'll have to monitor that, keep an eye on it. Van Rensburg now with the fastest lap in that Lamborghini, sitting in 3rd position, 1.1 seconds behind Jason. The tower currently showing the difference between the driver and the one ahead, not to the leader. So again, we'll have to see how Van Rensburg has done. Been showing some really strong pace, Ryan, in the season so far, but so far not really being able to convert massively.
Certainly has this promise of great pace, but as you say, just not being able to take that home to the end of the finish line yet.
The other thing, of course, we're going to have to watch out for is track cuts. We don't have a counter ourselves as commentators to see, but we know, especially with a corner like that chicane, it's a prime area to be getting track cuts. And of course, these drivers will be getting drive-through penalties if they exceed more than 3 of those during the course of the race. So let's see. It does look like Ross Bartle is slowly pulling away from Jason Luck, not by a huge amount, 2 to 3 tenths a lap at the moment. But definitely Ross seems to have the measure of Jason now at the earliest stages of this race. We'll have to see how they do tires wise, though. That Porsche may come back into its own towards the latter stages of the stint. We see Moritz now all over the back of Gillett, and that McLaren. I think that McLaren's going to be quite tricky in these damp conditions, Ryan. We've seen in the past just how quickly that car can bite, and you find yourself in the barrier before you know it, in the dry, let alone in the wet.
That's a very tricky car to master, that McLaren. It can be incredibly rewarding, but as we see him run wide, as we say that, and that's just going to gift a pass to Anthony Moritz.
And Trollope behind.
And that was a costly mistake.
Yeah.
From Dennis Gillett.
But now he's got who's that? Timothy Gomez. Gomez is all over the back. Oh, this is going to be up the inside. As I said in the intro, you can affect an overtake through this hairpin, and he does. Gomez gets past.
Yeah.
That's Gillett, I'm sure, will be absolutely fuming in that cockpit of the McLaren. He's allowed himself to have a few overtakes performed. Oh, Jason Luck. No,
I think he had a bit of a moment, but Mark's all over the back of him, yeah.
Yeah, all over the back of him. And remember, these guys are teammates, both Venom Works drivers.
Look at that overlap and exit corner speed.
Yeah, and I mean, Mark is going to be absolutely champing at the bit to try and get onto the back of Ross Bartle. I mean, at the end of last lap, Luck was 1 second behind Bartle. He's now 0.9. So he has actually... Oh, sideways!
Can he hold it? What a hell. What a save.
That is the hero moment of the race, I'm telling you right now. That's amazing. And
I'm surprised he's kept the position. Yeah.
Jason.
That is incredible.
Yo, Oh, more of that, please. I think we need a new series, right? And some sort of a drift series. That's
yeah.
amazing.
It's
That was
classic.
amazing.
Well
That was
done,
amazing. He
Jason.
has he's lost time, unfortunately, to Ross, but he's got him pegged, Ross, at the moment in terms of in terms of lap times. So Van Rensburg clearly being a bit quicker than Luck. If Venomworks play the team game here and let Van Rensburg through, it's very likely Van Rensburg will get onto the back of Bartle extremely quickly. Mike LaRue now up to 9th. So first lap tap. As you go down that, as you go down this hill, if you make any kind of contact, particularly in these conditions, you will find yourself sliding off track and onto that grass. And that once you get on that grass, you're going to be sliding forever. So the fact he only went down to 11th is quite impressive, and we'll have to keep an eye on him. Up 2 positions already.
Yeah, incredibly difficult to make aggressive moves in the wet because one mistake, maybe a wheel a little bit too much off track onto the painted lines. I don't know if the painted lines are slippery or not in the circles.
They definitely are. Yes.
Well, there you go. Yeah, just one little wheel a little bit too wide, and that can spell disaster for you.
Lucas Trollope showing us a few corners ago that Aston is also in the hunt for some drift action, so and holding it nicely as well. Hardest Boyser now in the BMW, looking like he's all over the back of Hannes van Wyk now. We've seen Boyser and van Wyk go wheel to wheel a number of times over the last season or so. These guys, seasoned veterans by now, and very, very used to running against each other, so it is a little bit of challenge resumed, shall we say, but we'll have to see who comes out on top. At the moment, looks like Boyser does have a little bit of pace advantage over Van Wyk. Not a huge amount, certainly not enough to affect an overtake at the moment, with Brett Crocump in the rear lurking, looking for any kind of mistake from these guys, any little bit of contact. And you can see on the windscreen of these cars when you're on board, it's taking out that bollard. That's interesting. There's not too much rain hitting the windscreen at the moment. So as you said at the beginning, Ryan, there's really not a hell of a lot of rain around, even though you can see some falling, and the track is still greasy.
Just enough to keep it greasy and not move it up a notch, yeah. But good to see a BMW out on track. I've always been a fan of the BMWs across the GT3 series. Hardest is the only one out there on Div1 in the Beamer.
Yep, back in AC days, you had to pry me out of that Z4 with a crowbar, and even then it would be very unlikely to have any luck. I absolutely loved that car, and Boyce has clearly found a similar affinity in the current BMW iteration of a GT3 car. It does look like Van Wyk is falling back from Van Rensburg now. Van Rensburg's still extremely close to Luck. Luck has, if you remember, with his epic drift moment, fell to 1.4 seconds behind Bartle, but now that gap is down to 5/10. So Van Rensburg pushing Luck, and it's getting absolutely the best out of Jason at the moment, and he's really caught up to the back of Bartle. Whether or not he can make a move, we'll have to see as we go back down to Michael LaRue in that Ford once again on the recovery drive. Oh, getting very scary. Yeah, that's brave on the grass there. Oh, running wide. Who's that? Is that Finley? Yes. Yeah, Fridge running wide, allowing Stroud to catch up to the back of him, but LaRue definitely going to be looking to make a couple of positions up as fast as he can in the next lap or so.
Just going to keep an eye on this leader here, Mark van Rensburg, the breakaway 3. Mark van Rensburg trying to stick with Jason Luck here.
Definitely a cat and mouse situation going on. You can see Luck really closes up to the back of Bartle through the sections that Porsche is super strong, and very, and it's only the sort of straight line power of that Mustang that I think is keeping Ross ahead. We saw he managed to weather the storm of who was it? In Watkins Glen. I'm drawing a blank. I think it was one of the Point Blank Racing guys. Sean Bingham.
Yeah.
Bartle was able to hold off Bingham by just being able to utilize that power on the Mustang. And we're seeing, even though there's less opportunity here at Donington, look at Luck. He's just all over the back of Bartle at the moment. That as soon as he can put that power down, it just gives him that little bit of breathing room. Van Rensburg lurking behind, also doing extremely quick lap times at the moment. So Stroud and Findlay is I don't. Oh, hang on. Why is LaRue down in 12th? What's happening?
I'm not sure what happened to Mike, but he's definitely dropped off. Yeah.
Maybe he made a move, didn't quite work, spun out, or driving a bit too aggressively. Not sure, but he's got everything to work at again. Unfortunately, I don't see damage. I'm not seeing damage.
Front end's quite scuffed.
Yeah. That is
clearly an incident happened there. Possibly a meeting with the wall.
Possibly a meeting with the wall. We would need to check the back of Stroud and Findlay, more Stroud than Findlay, just to see.
Looks pretty clean.
Yeah, looking very clean. So I think, as you say, there's been some wall contact there. We did see
up the inside here, James Stroud, side by side on Fridge. And it's a drag race to the T1 here, where Fridge is going to have the inside line.
Good hard racing. Fridge, of course. Oh no, guys!
A little hard. Yeah.
Got to give the space, kind of given there, but
squiggly on exit there, and I think he's going to be able to come back at him here.
Having to use the brakes there, that was a closing gap, and Stroud
had to back
wisely backed out. Yeah, but a good scrap between these two guys. Of course, Fridge Findlay racing in Lotus Challenge in real life, and will be out on track in Class B of Lotus Challenge in August 24th at Swartkorps. So he'll be on for some real action, so real life action, I should say, very, very soon. And of course, here at the front again, Bartle still trying to fend off Luck and Van Rensburg. Inside!
That was
my
very
goodness.
ambitious, and that's going to let Mark through as a new.
And Van Veek, Bartle going to be extremely unhappy with that. Luck has tried to ride his luck, and now Bartle pulls exactly the same move on Jason. Says, that's the way you want to race, bud. I'm going to throw it up the inside, and we'll see what happens. And but it does end up with Luck in second position still, despite the number of overtakes, and Van Rensburg has gained hugely there on that lap, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm sure he was just smiling all the way to the bank there. He just seeing those guys scrap together and essentially duff it at the hairpin.
Yeah, you feel that Jason would have thought that his only opportunity was to make a late break, last lunge type of move, given the fact that he doesn't have the straight line speed. So any tiny sliver of an opportunity. But yeah, definitely a bit of a rough move. Lots of door banging and going on in this GT3 race. But so far, everybody still on track, still in the hunt. Do not count Bartle out at all. Boyser and Van Veek going at it still. Krogkamp in the background there, constantly looking for an opportunity to, speaking of Boyser all over the back of Van Veek. Van Veek dipped a wheel into the grass. Does he go for it? I'm surprised. I thought Boyser would have had a go there.
But up ahead, look at that side-by-side, Jason Luck and Bartle.
And it looks like Bartle's got ahead somehow at that hairpin.
He has indeed, yeah, and that was clean from what I could see. And he's hugging the inside line nicely, not opening any doors.
Yeah, Luck all over the back of Bartle now, but he won't.
T1, but he's gonna have a look up the inside, or he pulled out, but he's backed out.
Just need to be careful. More dives is just going to result in more contact. Down coming through the hill. Bartle pulls away slightly, but on the brakes, Luck is able to close up. Both drivers very squirrely. They are pushing hard, Ryan. They really are.
They are dicing hard.
It has allowed Van Rensburg to get away a little bit. 1.2 seconds ahead. It doesn't seem like a lot, but at this stage of the race, did not close well.
Enough to relieve some pressure and just allow Mark to concentrate on his own line. Not worry about defending for now.
Lamborghini, Ford, Porsche, BMW, a nice mix of manufacturers as well in the top 4.
Need a good mix.
So it just goes to show the new toy isn't necessarily the best toy.
Yeah, especially with the bop.
Yeah, exactly. Gillett has made his one mandatory pit stop.
Alright,
So down in 16th. But, you know, his position's still to be made up. We've just dipped under the hour mark. Unbelievable. We've had 20 minutes or just about 20 minutes of racing. Still lots to go, and these guys are really close together.
Yeah, there's battles all the way up and down the track still. I think a wet race does do a lot to bring cars closer together. But yeah, I've seen some good racing.
Absolutely. Strong and Finley back at it again. Again, you get the feeling that Stroud has got the advantage through the twisty stuff. It's just on the straights, doesn't quite have the legs. Is it me, or has Heartless Voicer got ahead of Van Somewhere. I'm convinced that there was the BMW was in 5th not so long ago.
Sure not.
I think we've missed it, and I think Boycer has got ahead of Van Beek because he's now very close to the back of Luck.
That's true, actually. It wasn't being behind the top 3.
I'm really finding some good pace now. Is Hodders not doing some purple laps?
Yeah, last step across the line right now is a 130.6. His best is a 130.1, so it's 1.5. It's the good consistency. Sorry, who?
Luck.
Jason's last was a 130.6. Also dead. Literally evenly matched.
Oh, interesting. So, Hodders is fun. Maybe it's the battling that's allowed him to catch up, but certainly much closer than we've seen, and Van Rensburg now is able to pull away. He's now up to 2 seconds, so he's not scampering away, you know, pulling half a second a lap, but it's certainly growing, that gap. So we did see it. Oh, Ross Bartle wide. Ross Bartle has run wide, very wide. Boycer and Luck trying their luck.
With the inside line that he has in the corner, he's trying to make it as wide as possible.
A little bit of tapping, that's fine. And now Boycer's passed. Boycer's going to get past Luck on the inside.
There,
making the most of the opportunity presented to him, but Luck is going to cut back and get much better drive.
He's going to have to go all the way around the outside in this next corner there.
Because Boyce is going to have the inside, as you say. I'll try the cutback again. Oh,
it's Steve in the background.
Yeah, clearly wasn't aware that Luck was going to do that cutback maneuver, which hasn't worked out, unfortunately, but it almost meant that we had a Venomworks pile-up. Boyce running a bit wide here. Expect Luck to be all over the back of him now.
I'd be really curious to know if they're on voice comms with each other or... Oh, Jason Luck has a moment over the curb. Wow!
How he kept that off the grass, although speaking of, he's back on the grass now.
He's fighting it to regain control, but yet again manages to hold it.
Yeah, definitely getting a bit overexcited, I think, here is Jason. He's run wide.
Yeah.
Oh, tapping with his teammate. Crocomp says thank you. Van Veek says thank you very much, teammate. I'll have that. And again, a little bit of door handle and mirror racing, which is what we love here at SRSA. Hard racing, but fair racing and not taking each other out.
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately, Luck has now fallen back down to 6th. He was challenging for the lead not long ago. It just shows how close these guys are. And if you just lose your concentration, even for a moment, there are going to be vultures all over you.
Absolutely, especially with the division structure. All these guys have very similar pace, and they're on it. And as we see here, Crocomp and Van Veek battling now on the Mustangs.
This is going to bring Luck back into it. Is Crocomp going to get the cutback? Oh, getting very sideways again.
It's going to make him struggle to put the power down.
Yeah, that's very much Brett at the moment. A little bit of drifting, but again, you know, these guys. It's so difficult to keep you cool.
Yeah.
But if you don't, and if you have a couple of little wobbles, suddenly you'll find yourself in 6th instead of in 2nd before you know it. So what's Jason going to be able to do? Is he going to be able to come back? He's certainly shown us that he has the pace, but does he have the consistency now? That's going to be the interesting. That's going to be an interesting thing to watch. Boyce are now all over the back of Bartle, so Boyce has caught up to Bartle. Bartle had run away a little bit in all that excitement, but now Boyce has come back at him. Looks like Bartle's run a little bit wide again. Maybe he's deliberately taking that line. I'm not sure, but certainly Boyce seems to be taking a different line onto the straight. And it does seem to be paying off for him, because look how close Boyce is now.
He's
behind
doing
Bartle.
significantly faster lap times. Over the last 2-3 laps, Hardest has had faster laps 3 in a row compared to Ross. So
Yeah, just looking where Ross is using the brakes through that hairpin, it doesn't seem like in a very natural position to be doing so. So I think Ross is struggling at this stage with 50 minutes to go in this lap. Ross is braking well, sort of 3/4 into a corner.
in the background there, Jason likes Porsche getting bouncing over those curbs. But
You know, all over the back of Crocomp now through the sections where he's faster. But I just think
look at that
Bartle's struggling.
sideways. Yeah, Bartle had a little squiggly moment there yet again. And in contrast, the BMW looks so planted.
We go on board with Boyce. I'd like to see what the spray looks like. Okay, so really very, very little spray. These guys are not being affected by visibility issues at all, which is great. Of course, that's the most difficult thing in the rain. Yeah, Bartle wide again.
Nice guys, yeah.
Yeah, and watch him through this corner. You'll see if it's anything like last lap. See how much tighter Hardest is able to keep that. Bartle, you can see his car swirling around everywhere. So it really struggling to get that front end turning in the Mustang. So it could be tire wear, could be setup, could be just the Mustang's not suited to it. Unsure. Mike LaRue has pitted. He's taken his one and only mandatory pit stop. Possibly repairing that front end
Just
damage.
like so, I'm going to go and have a look at the front end of Scott. Yeah, that's looking nice.
Oh,
Clean.
that's brand new, shiny and new, eh?
Buffed right out.
Yeah. Amazing what a can of Mr. Min and some duct tape will do.
Yeah, so he'll be on a recovery drive now.
Yeah, Jason Luck definitely got the pace over Brett. You can see Brett has dropped back a little bit. Promoted himself through nice, consistent, solid driving, keeping his nose clean and profiting off others' mistakes and battles. But Jason's definitely got the pace on him. Whether or not he can affect an overtake, we'll have to see. We did see him dive Bartle into that hairpin. We'll have to see if Jason does the same thing. It's certainly the kind of move he's going to have to make in that Porsche without this top speed. Or possibly try and unsettle Brett and then get a move done. Just adding a whole lot of pressure. Definitely a bit too far away to be making a move brakes, you can see closing up. It does actually look like these guys are even closing up on Bartle as well. So it'd be interesting to know what sort of lap times Crowcump's doing versus Bartle, given that they're teammates probably on the same setup.
Crowcump is doing significantly quicker laps.
Interesting. So I wonder what's going on with Bartle,
Certainly
because
looks
Brett's also under
struggling now.
super pressure at the moment, so might not be running optimal lines as well.
Yeah, Crowcump's currently quicker than Bartle by about 1 to 2 tenths a lap.
Cool. That definitely starts to add up. Bartle hasn't fallen back from Van Rensburg hugely. The gap has increased to 2.5 seconds now, but he's, what lap time's Van Rensburg doing?
Mark from Rensburg, his last lap was 1:30.75.
Very sideways. Sorry, very sideways from Bartle. I think Boyce is going to be all over the back of him now, and into the grass there. Is he going to be able to keep it into this hairpin? Looks like he will. Boyce will try and follow as close as he possibly can, with Van Veek nipping at his heels as well. It actually looked like Bartle did that hairpin much better. Sorry, you were saying about lap times?
Yes. So Mark van Rensburg's last was 1:30.75. Ross Bartle's a 1:30.97. So yeah, 2 tenths.
Okay,
slower.
so 2 tenths. All right. So Bartle struggling,
He's
going
front
very wide here,
yeah.
very wide. Goodness me, and sliding on the exit. How Boyce wasn't able to go up the inside there, I'm not sure.
Maybe lacking the confidence, maybe his own car, but it's certainly looking more pounted, so you'd think he would look to pounce any second. He is under a lot of pressure from Hannes van Beek behind him, though.
Yeah, and he's dropped, Bartle's dropped 7 to 8 tenths compared to Van Rensburg.
Yeah.
3.3 the gap now, so as you say, these guys definitely looking to pounce. And they're just going to be seeing Van Rensburg scuttling away into the distance. Absolutely delighted that Ross is helping him out, despite this being a Venomworks driver. He'll be very happy to have a gap, I'm sure, to the leader. Again, you can see just how wide Ross runs through that section. Although it does seem to work for him.
A slightly altered line in the wet. Perhaps there's something to that.
Yeah, could be.
Does certainly seem to have struggled to put the power down on exit off corner there.
Yeah, that's definitely been something that the Black Hawk guys have been working on, is to try and figure out the rear end of that Mustang and how it obviously plays in relation to the front end, because you're getting a lot of squirreling on exit and understeer on entry, and it's kind of the natural state of the car, I believe, not having driven it myself, but I believe that's kind of how these drivers are finding it straight out the box. So in these wet conditions, we're really not playing into the Mustang's hands here, which from a championship point of view is great news.
It is indeed. Not looking for a bunch of Mustangs to run away with it.
It does look like Ross has pulled up a little bit of a gap.
It's another bit of a drift by Jason, and he manages to keep it going relatively straight, but off track then does some farming, and that's dropped him way back now from Red Crowcump.
I mean, just in terms of one lap pace, Hannes does have the fastest lap of the race. So, you know, that Mustang clearly has it in itself to do a quick lap. But I just think it probably is eating through its wet tires quicker. Oh, here we go. Boycer, oh, so close to having a little sniff at Bartle. Nipping at the heels. Desperate to make this place up and then go after Van Rensburg. See Bartle fighting the wheel all the way through that corner, eh?
Yeah, I was definitely seeing it looked like Hardest Voice's inputs were a lot more smooth.
We're starting to approach the halfway mark. The track is still greasy. These guys are still battling it out super duper hard the whole time. And I'm not really expecting the track actually to turn wet, given... or even damp, actually.
Ooh, tap the brakes there by Ross Bartle, just trying to keep the Stang under control. But yeah, 41 minutes left of this race. We can see half an hour into the future with the weather, and it's pretty constant and consistent.
We can't see pedal inputs from these guys.
Let me see if I can switch over to
because what I'm thinking,
HUD.
Ryan,
I could possibly there. You got some in the bottom right temporarily.
Okay, because what I think Ross might be doing is when he's getting on the power, and obviously the rear of the car is unhappy with him, just tapping the brakes a little bit to bring the car under control and get some traction back on those rear wheels and help settle the car instead of have it go sideways. I'm just wondering if that's what he's doing on exit of some of these corners where I'm seeing it looks weird to see the brake lights there. Yeah, and it won't be a lot, but okay, so I'm not seeing it there, but I have seen it on this next corner quite a bit. To see what happens, although Boyce is always looking for a bit of a... Yeah, you can see he's still on the brakes there.
Yeah, he's going to the pits.
Ooh,
yeah.
Jumped into the pits. Okay, so we'll have to monitor later on. Clearly fed up with these tyres. I would bet a lot of money right now he's going to change tyres. I don't think there's any way he's going to stick on these tyres, and he's going to try the undercut. We've seen the undercut be very powerful at other tracks. Particularly as we've had smaller grids. We haven't had, these huge 30 to 40 car grids this season, so it means you don't have to work your way through as much traffic, and chances are in Div 1 you're going to be coming up against a guy who's pretty quick anyway. So if you just get 3, 4, 5 seconds of gap between you and the guy you've come up behind, it's not going to be the end of the world. You're going to be able to slowly catch up to them doing great lap times yourself and then get that undercut advantage. So we'll see if it works for Bartle, who's in the pits, has cleared his thing. We'll have to check. Gomez in the pits now, Stroud's in the pits. Groenewold has also, Martin has also pitted, so the Black Owl guys definitely diving into the pits. Only Crowcump is still out there for Black Owl. Roxanne, of course, not able to join us tonight, the other usual Black Owl Sim Sports GT3 driver in Div 1. So yeah, we're gonna have to keep an eye on Ross's time, see what he's doing, compare it to the likes of Van Rensburg, Boyce and Van Wyk. Because that's going to be very interesting to see. I'm sure on these fresh tyres he's going to be setting some good lap times there.
Mark, just looking at his last few lap times, they've been dead consistent. 130.5, 130.6, 130.55. So yeah, looks to be in control currently. these two drivers, currently the closest battle on track. Jason Luck, 0.1 second behind Brett Kirkham here, fighting for position. Both drivers yet to do a pit stop.
We are halfway through, not over yet.
Yeah, the crew chief declaring halfway through the race. Jason having a big look up the inside here and is actually drawn alongside.
Definitely
He's
gonna go
easy.
for it.
Brett,
could have tried the
he's
cut
running
back
very
though.
wide there, Jason. Like so he's cut back
Jeepers, how did he keep that out the...
up the cross. Yeah,
Yeah. Porsche has some front end on it, I tell you what.
still on it, yeah.
Tell you what, Luck cannot complain about having a boring race tonight. That is, oh goodness me. Martin Rensburg, our leader, has just jumped into the pits. That's our man in the Lamborghini, so we'll have to keep an eye on him and see where he comes out. Of course, Bartle was, what was it, about 3.5, 4 seconds behind when he pitted. So clearly, Mark is worried about the undercut.
But yeah, my crew I think is going to get through after initially looking quite squirrely on that prior corner.
Yeah. So of course Mike, remember, having already made his pit stop quite early, Stander not having made a pit stop,
into the
and does
pits.
so now.
Yeah.
So I think most of these guys are going to be taking tyres, because it's a sort of 50-50 split here. Hannes and Hardus, both drivers yet to pit. We have seen these guys run pretty long in the past, if memory serves. Brett Crocombe's still out there as well. Interesting, running a contra strategy to his teammates. And interesting because we saw him be, of all the Black Owl drivers, he was the most squirrely on new tyres, so interesting that he's sticking it out. Maybe he's just used to it by now.
Appears to have settled, yeah. Just looking at the lap times, very consistent over the last 4.
Okay, so Bartle's lost out in the pits, if I'm reading things right. He's got 5 seconds to Van Rensburg, unless I mean, it's possible. I mean, I didn't miss what the gap was at the time of pitting.
Well, unfortunately, I can't see how long their pit stops were. I'll be just guessing if I had said Marks was quicker. But just from where they've ended up on track, it does look like that gap has increased.
Yeah, just doing some sleuthing. It was the gap in terms of the tower had it at 4.8 seconds. Bartle jumped into the pits, but remember he was under huge pressure at the time, so it was actually slightly more. So actually the gap is about the same.
Okay.
The gap's pretty much the same. Hodges is now in the pits. Sole BMW driver Jason Luck. Oh, dive on the inside.
He's
with
made it
Crocombe.
stick.
Yeah, he has to do those dive moves because there's just no other way for that Porsche to make an overtake.
Yeah, I think Brett saw him coming a little bit and avoided some contact, but
because he is better on the brakes. That slows down, that Porsche slows down much better than most of the other cars. So he can kind of make it work.
Yeah.
Trouble is, when you get it slightly wrong, it does tend to end in tears.
That's true, yes.
Jason now past Brett. So our top runners at the moment, Van Wyk, Luck, Krookamp and Findlay, all having yet to make a stop. Only other person not to make a stop is Peterson in 9th. So we'll have to, also in a Porsche. Only other Porsche driver.
Yeah.
Nice clean white livery there.
Indeed.
So clearly the Porsche guys are thinking that actually these tyres are fine, we can keep going. Don't need to worry too much about tyre wear at this stage. Oh, Trollope getting a great exit from turn 1 there. Really closing up on Stroud. McLaren versus Aston. Two Brits going at it hard here. Lines down the hill. Past the old bridge up the hill. Closing up, but now just trying to unsettle. I think Trollope is just trying to unsettle Stroud. Feel like he's going to make a move. He's actually just trying to size him up. Speaking of sizing him up, looks like he's got a great run down here. Is he going to get the inside line?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good move.
Good move. Great racing by both guys.
Yeah, great
It's just
respect.
on as well.
Sure. Yeah,
Sure.
he's just capped it now.
Stroud really compromised on the exit of that chicane, I think. A good move from Trollope. So Bartle's now 2.8 seconds behind Van Rensburg. So now that he doesn't have the pressure of Boyce and the boys, he's definitely able to catch up to Van Rensburg. But we saw this at the beginning of the race where Bartle was setting very, very quick lap times, quicker than most of the field, if not all the field, and able to effect some good change at the front. But Van Rensburg and Van Rensburg, Boyce, Luck, they all came back at him later on in the stint. So we'll have to see how this plays out. If Bartle wants to win, he's going to have to make the move on track. There won't be any other pit stops, certainly not planned ones. And Boyce are definitely keeping Bartle honest at this stage.
Into the pits goes Brett.
So he's finally jumped in half an hour to go, so kind of a 2/3 strategy for Mr. Krookamp, which is interesting. Now I wonder if he's going to take tyres. Not really possible for us to see that, but
Would only be whether that felt like 30 seconds or under.
yeah.
He has fed out in front of Mark van Rensburg.
How's that?
So, was that an incredibly quick stop?
It must have been. I'm sure Sass will chastise us at
For not looking.
for not keeping a better tabs on it, but it must be, given that he's come in and come out. So he's not taken tires. Everybody else has taken tires.
He must
he's
have forgotten the tires,
flashing
yeah.
back. Yeah.
And we did see, you know, before we pitted, we were commenting on how it looks like he's stabilized. So yeah, maybe he thinks they can go the distance now.
I mean, especially with the track as greasy, theoretically, you don't need that much tread on your wets to, you know, get rid of the water. What's the temperature? 28, track 34. So it is quite hot, actually. I'm surprised they're not overheating and really, good on Brett. Trying something different.
I mean, that's a bold move, and I think, you know, on track for literally winning him the race here, we'll have to see if he can stretch those tires.
I mean, you can already see Van Rensburg and Bartel in the background, possibly playing a bit of a team game here, so you can back Van Rensburg into Bartel, which would be very, very clever strategy as well. But remember, Krookamp was sort of 7th or 8th at the start of the race in terms of pure pace. So even if he gets himself in the top 4 with this strategy, that's a huge win.
Mark's just trying to navigate some blue flags here.
Yeah, just dipping his wheels onto the grass to do so. Quite brave, but clearly very confident in that Lambo. As I say, gets a very squirrely entrance. Very close to again being on that grass. Bartel definitely seems to have been held up a little bit more by the back marker. Remember that they don't have to jump out the way. This is not F1. You know, they just have to not get in the way. They make the fast drivers making a move, that kind of thing. Stick to their lines. So nothing wrong there. I'm just saying this is racing. And back markers do come into play. Bartel now just a second behind Van Rensburg. Both of these guys closing quickly onto the back of Krookamp though.
Peter's still doing very well to get out of the way there as Luck and Van Beek continue through. Still looking very racy here down the main straight. Jason looking quite pacey.
Yeah, presumably back on new tyres. Have a bit more grip now.
Yeah.
You can see just how much that's affecting him coming out that chicane. Going for a move, his classic lunge.
Yeah, he has to hold the tight line, and it's done well. That Porsche has the grip.
Yeah, because he's with his new tyres, he's now able to keep that tight line even with a bit of a dive.
Yeah, was a nudge there.
Was there?
Yeah, there was contact rear to front. Very slight.
Just a kiss between teammates. That Porsche's definitely seen a little bit of contact over the course of the race, but still seems to be holding up nicely. So Jason, like back in. Sorry, I was talking absolute nonsense there, Ryan. Jason Luck's now leading the race. They haven't pitted, so he's clearly these tires are actually holding on perfectly well. I do apologise. That's
So they are
all
indeed.
rubbish. What I was talking.
We'll have to see what the gap is. Oh,
Oh, Van Veek
That's a
spun it
big
on his
mistake.
own.
and that's going to be some significant front end damage, I would think.
Go on board, see if his wheel's still straight.
Let's see, cockpits. Just see when he gets this next straight here. Looks
Looking
reasonable.
about right. Yeah, it looks reasonable. The bonnet you can see is bouncing there. Like,
Yeah.
just waving, saying hello. We haven't seen anyone with a drive-through yet.
Oh, you say that. Jason Luck. Oh, what timing. Oh, he must be kicking himself now after all that hard work. And that's for track cuts.
Sorry, Jason. That
Is he
really
going to take
was
it immediately? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's
really
deeply unfortunate. Yeah.
So all that advantage that he's gained is going to be gone now because he still has to make a mandatory pit stop.
Yeah.
Don't be speeding. Yeah, cleared it.
Hopped back on the towards the back end of the field here. There's some strong battles here for P11.
It's a shame because Hardis and Jason were quite far ahead. I mean, Findlay was quite far behind them. I'm sure Hannes's performance is going to be drastically reduced from that, and obviously he lost a bunch of time in the incident as well.
Yeah.
But both of those guys are actually looking pretty good results-wise before that. Unfortunate that.
A big chunk out of the grass there, Brett. And you can see just how much it affects the car, going quite bouncing. But as we say, this is just a back marker.
Yeah. Getting through there nice and easily. So of course Bartel is now past Krokam, so has Van Rensburg. So Brett really not getting in the way of this dice, but it has allowed, I say allowed, it has meant that Bartel is now all over the back of Van Rensburg, just 0.1 of a second between these two guys.
Yep.
Yeah, it's very squirrely again from Bartel. Boycer now is going to be the next to have a go at Krokam.
Jason Luck has cleared his actual pit stop now.
Let's see where he ends up. Oh, Bartel! Jeez, like Ross. Living extremely dangerously there. Boycer in the background getting quite feisty with Krokam as well. Definitely going to have the grip on Krokam is Boycer. Just using that much narrower line,
Yeah.
which he definitely prefers over what the Mustang guys are doing. mistake. He's definitely fallen back fairly significantly in that battle. It's 1 second, but I mean, it's in the context that is quite a lot. I know we won't get to it, Ryan, but it does look like the rain is actually clearing.
It does look like it's lightening up, yeah, but from the Switzerland screen, there's zero spray.
I assume with this, these guys are on wet, as Boyce said, no, it's
Fairly
all over the
short
grass.
stripes,
I know it's between greasy and damp. There is often a debate around which tires to use, depending on what the track temperature is, which is quite hot at the moment. So
It's true, because if it's too hot, the wet, they're gonna struggle.
yep, big time.
The field's been bunched up here, I think just because of these back markers, and that's allowed Boise to get all over the back of Crocamp.
It's having to get quite aggressive with the back markers just so he doesn't lose out, because Boyce just sails through with him because they, you know, basically they're one long car given how close they are together. And in this sort of situation, who's
That was
gone
Mark
wide? Is that Van Rensburg?
Mm-hmm.
We've got a stop go 30 for Hannes van Veek. That was speeding in the pits. So Fridge Friendly is now leading this race. However, Boyce going up the inside. Sorry, Boyce trying to go up the inside of Crocamp there. Nothing doing, but still absolutely hammer and tongue between these two. It does show also that track position around Donington makes a big difference here. Even if you are on worn tyres. It would be interesting to know what sort of lap times Findley's doing. Last 32.0 it looks like.
Yeah.
So I imagine Bartle, who now does have the fastest lap of the race, is going a sight quicker than that.
131.7 is last. We'll see another lap from Fridge here, crossing at a 132.4.
Van Veek diving into service stop go. Yeah, 132.4. What was Bartle there?
131.7.
Okay, so yeah, call it half a second a lap, a little bit more. Bartle's gaining. So with 15 minutes to go, Fridge is never going to hang on to this because he does have to stop, even if he's going to do a splash and dash. Even if he's just going to do 1 litre, it's not going to make a difference. So Bartle is effectively the race leader right now, but Van Rensburg is all over the back of him. It did seem like Van Rensburg made a bit of a mistake. We didn't see the pass though, so it could be in some argy-bargy, we're not sure. I must say though, the Crocamp is doing an absolute sterling job to keep the clearly quicker Boyce behind him. Especially as that BMW is no slouch on the straights.
He's certainly looking way more planted for all the corners, so yeah, Crocamp doing a great job at keeping him behind.
And I mean, the situation is going to get better for Crocamp as the time goes on, because his tyres, while they're just not going to fall off quite as much as Boyce's will. So, you know, he's theoretically, each lap that goes by, Crocamp is placed in a better position. But pressure like this can definitely have its toll on you. Very surprisingly, because you've got to maintain that concentration for so long, particularly at the end of a race like this, with just 13 minutes left. Oh, Bartle going for it. He's actually made it work. He got a great run out of the chicane, and that's it. Position made. So he definitely was held up. It was good, good bit of teamwork there. Surprised Finley wasn't able to hold him up for longer, and still doesn't pit.
Yeah. Literally going to the end.
Yeah, I mean, Bartle's, as you say, squiggly. He's already suffering from tyre degradation, I would say. And remember, did pit slightly earlier than a lot of the other front runners. Krokant is doing a sterling job defending against Boycer. It's actually quite incredible how much of a fight he's been able to put up. Boycer must be absolutely boiling over in that BMW, just completely unable at the moment to do anything against Krokant. Oh, Brett running slightly wide there.
Just waiting
Careful.
for you to commentators curse it, but certainly it's looking like the Minister of Defense right now.
Maybe I should shut up, but because this has been a fantastic drive from Brett. As I said at the start of the race, he was around 7-8, somewhere in and around there, and through strategy and consistent driving, he could be finding himself gaining multiple crucial positions in a race where realistically, from a just pure lap time point of view, he's got no business being on the podium, one might argue, but it's not necessarily all about raw lap time. Sometimes you can make a really, really good drive and really good strategy and stick to it, work out absolutely beautifully in your favor. Okay, so now Krokant's all over the back of Finley, so how is he going to play this? He's going to have to work his way through 4 position, remember. This is no longer a blue flag.
He doesn't have to. He can defend as hard as he likes.
And Finley and Krokant, their tyres are going to be the same age, because while, I mean, Finley's not pitted, Krokant did, but we are 95% sure that he didn't take tyres. So how these two guys are on tyres of exactly the same age, unless one of them has slicks and one of them has wets for some reason. Ooh, running very wide. Again, it's not exactly the kind of place where an overtake could be had. Krokant able to hang on once more. Findlay not getting a great exit. Ooh!
Oh, he's run very wide in his slide.
It was unsighted.
Yeah.
He was definitely unsighted by the braking there. Whether it was Findlay braking super early and just got caught in the concertina, or just losing concentration for a millisecond there. And now we see Krokant at the back of Findlay. When is Findlay going to pit?
He has to do it soon or risk getting a post-race penalty.
Yeah, and if he tries to cut in now,
he's in.
there it is.
He's got to be careful for not speeding.
yeah, careful for not speeding, but I was worried that Crocombe was going to run into the back of him, given that they were battling for position there. So Brett now in third position with a good gap between himself and Boycer can, you know, for the first time in a long time,
Breathe.
breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
So far, we've only seen the one drive-through from track cuts, and I think that was Jason Luck, if I remember correctly. So Jason got to fifth, despite having that extra pit stop. So Jason's had a very, very exciting race. Has shown some excellent pace here. Not being able to
get back up to fifth, considering.
Yeah, definitely not being able to capitalize as much as he would have liked himself, I'm sure. But so far a good solid showing at a track where he's definitely had a bit of a pace advantage over a lot of the field.
Right, man. Leader is on the final lap. Give it all you can.
As we count down less than 1 minute remaining now, this is likely to be the last lap, I would say, given where the timer is at this stage. Certainly Van Rensburg won't want to be doing another lap, especially if he's going to run on the grass like that. With a 4-second gap to Bartle, he is now absolutely clear favourite to take the checkered flag in his first win of the season, I believe.
Yeah, that would be a strong, good finish from Van Rensburg. Just 2 more corners to navigate. The hairpins. Looks to be safe.
Been a very, very close GT3 race. This has. The clock does tick down to 0. It should be Mark Van Rensburg who takes the checkered flag. Last corner, looks like he gets the car nicely exited from across the line, takes the win. Fantastic from the Venom Works guys. Great race by Mark Van Rensburg. Ross Bartle keeps fastest lap of the race, comes across in second. A good result considering how much Ross struggled around Donington here in the wet. Brett Crocombe though, what a fantastic drive. Has to be, for me, drive of the day. A really solid display and show of what defensive driving can get you. Alternative strategy worked out phenomenal. Jason Luck also 4th position. Great result for Jason. Really good to see that Porsche super far up in the standings once again. Fridge Findlay in 5th. Also, the contra strategy, not taking tyres, worked out. Came home in 5th. Mike LaRue in 6th. A few problems for Mike, but bringing home solid. Martin Groenewold, great result. 7th for Martin. That's fantastic. I know he will be over the moon with that in Div 1. Hannes van Veek struggled a little bit. Would expected a bit more from Hannes today, but 8th, not too shabby. Trollop great in 9th. Gomez in 10th. Peterson 11th. Stander in 12th. And Gillett rounding us off in 13th.
Yeah, and
that's
that
us.
is the race. That is us. Indeed. Thanks very much for joining me in the booth tonight, Nick. Pleasure as always. And,
yeah, thanks everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll have another GT3 race for you in 2 weeks' time. And a Clio's, of course, we're back next week.
Yes, can't wait for the next track for the Renault Clio's. Just double checking where we are after again. For the Clio's, we are at Bridgehampton.
Yeah, Bridgehampton. So it's a track I don't think we've been to before ever. It's in the history of Sim Race SA, and yeah, it's going to be a very, very interesting one. Lots of gravel trap runoff, so lots of opportunity to cut corners. But the problem is that gravel slows you down heavily, so it's a massive penalty for trying to cut a corner. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm really looking forward to it.
Awesome, yeah, me too. All right, thanks. Last sign-offs. Thanks very much to everyone for joining us on the YouTube stream live, as well as the viewers post-race. And yeah, looking very much forward to the next one. Cheers, Nick. Have a good evening.
Thanks, everyone.
Ciao for now. Bye.